Hello and welcome again to SportNation, and thank God the Premier is back. And what a game we have to start with. Anfield the venue, it's the early kick-off, Liverpool against Manchester United. Guys, what a game to start with. Fabulous, eh?
Great game to start with, and yeah, rejoice that the Prem is actually back.
Yeah.
No more watching England, which is good.
Now, no Fellaini for United, but more importantly, probably no Mane for Liverpool.
They struggle without him, don't they?
They really do.
No Mane, no points.
Yeah, I think they've got, I saw a stat this week, they scored 1.6 goals without him in the team, but scored 2.2 goals with him in the team. So he's a massive loss for them, and they are struggling against United as well.
You look at that stat there, Liverpool have just won one of their last 8 matches against United, won 1, drawn 3, lost 4. And United are confident, aren't they? Josie's got them buzzing, they look strong. I think last season they went there and parked the bus 0-0, boring. Yeah. It's not going to be 0-0 this week.
He's got a different squad there now, hasn't he? And all of the players are firing for him. Lukaku and Rashford being 2 of them. Lukaku's scored 4 in his last 4 Premier League games versus Liverpool. He likes playing at Anfield as well.
And at the back as well, they've kept 8 clean sheets in their last 9 matches. So
imposing, at the moment.
And a win on Saturday would give United a Premier League club record 22 points after 8 games, and this fella De Gea, he's part of the clean sheets, isn't he? He is, and that could be the difference. De Gea and whoever's in goal for Liverpool. I'm never sure who Klopp's going to pick.
Liverpool just defensively, they can't win the league with that back 4 and goalie. It's just impossible. You've got to have a good goalie. I know it's the old cliche, but you've got to have a good goalie to win the league. And De Gea, for me, is the best in the Premier.
Yeah. Well, I'd gone before I knew Mane was out 2-2 score draw, but I'm really just I'm going towards Manchester United to win this now.
I think I'm there. I think Liverpool will probably score.
Yeah.
They tend to score, but I reckon United may edge it. You agree?
So what, 2-1 are we talking about?
I'd say United to win, both teams to score. Lukaku, if Lukaku scores, he'll be the first player to score 8 goals in his first 8 matches.
For United.
Which is fantastic.
I reckon 2-1 United's probably about right.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Now, Burnley against West Ham. Now, West Ham, they've worried me for weeks, and I just hope Slaven turns it around. This will not be easy. This is a type of game where, first and foremost, you have to roll your sleeves up and dig in. You cannot go there half-hearted.
Yeah.
Forget it. And then hopefully your class will come through. But I'm going to go a Burnley win here. I don't trust West Ham away from home. Sorry.
I agree with that. West Ham have only picked up 1 point in 4 games away from home, and that was a 0-0 draw at West Brom.
Yeah, but Lanzini is back though, and he does make them tick. So if they've got any hope, it will be because he's back and he's like pulling the strings.
West Ham have pretty much got a full squad. So Andy Carroll's back, Chicharito's back.
I don't know if Chicharito's going to play.
Yeah, but they're saying they might drop him. Oh. So just to go with a different front 3. I can't see many goals in this. There's only been
1-0 job.
I reckon a 1-0 Burnley is quite a good shout. They won 1-0 at Turf Moor 4 times last season, and there's been 3 games at Turf Moor so far this season, and it's only been 2 goals. I mean, there won't be many goals in this game. I reckon either a 1-0 Burnley or potentially a 0-0. I could see a low scoring goal.
I'd say under 2.5 goals. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'd be
score draw.
Score draw 1-0.
No.
Yeah, score draw.
1-0.
Score draw.
Nice.
Okay, so Burnley against West Ham. As I said, gritty. West Ham. He sounded confident, Bilic. I was listening to his conference today. Sounded confident, but I think Deitch is doing a great job. You look
Brilliant
at that.
Job.
Enjoying the longest ever unbeaten run in the Premier as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to. It could easily be a draw, but I will go with Burnley. I think 1-0 something.
Yeah,
like
I think Burnley just. But yeah, Sean Dyche's doing a brilliant job, like you say. They're so consistent. They've got. That's what they've brought in the last since 2017 started. Throughout this year, Burnley are just slowly grinding out results, and that's everything West Ham are.
And let's be honest, Burnley every season the objective is to stay in the Premier.
Absolutely.
And I think they'll do it comfortable again. I do.
I agree.
Okay, so it's going to be tight. Burnley against West Ham. What about Palace? There's some great stats, isn't there, about Palace. It's frightening, isn't it?
It's
If we go back to De Boer and now present Roy Hodgson, it's not good.
They're in freefall, aren't they? So Ronald de Boer was the first manager to play his first 4 games, get sacked and score 0 and no goal scored. Roy Hodgson could be the second manager ever with the same club straight after the other
Well,
guy.
I think the expressions there says, "Oh, they're not too happy, are they?"
No permanent Premier League manager had lost their first 4 league games without scoring a goal.
But
Especially this game, could happen again.
Another interesting stat, Palace are currently on the second longest run in minutes without scoring from the start of a season in the Football League history.
Wow.
So 630 minutes. The only other team which was longer
Halifax.
was Halifax in the 4th tier in 1990.
They're just in freefall.
Palace are now conceding at a rate of 3.3 goals a game compared to 1.75 under De Boer. To be fair to Roy,
Had
the
hard.
games have been really, really
Oh,
tough.
very
And hopefully
difficult.
they'll get easier after this one. Whereas Chelsea at the moment performed better in the travels, and actually 6 successive victories stretching back to last season, which is 1 defeat and 10 wins in the last 11 in all competitions. It's got to be a Chelsea win. London derbies, I'm wary of that.
It's got to be. Looking at the stats, looking at the form, Chelsea just have won more Premier League in points in London derbies than any other side in the competition's history. They love a London derby. Chelsea just played 3-1, 3 away from home. They went to Wembley and beat Tottenham.
Yeah, I think it is worth remembering as well that sometimes when there's an international break, it does this kind of like weird like reset.
Yeah.
Like people, you fall out of the rut you were in, you're starting afresh.
True.
So I'm not saying Palace will win and they won't get smashed. They probably will, but I just a little bit more wary than it would have been.
I'm
if
going
it
to go
was-
0-2.
I've gone 0-3.
Have you?
I'm going to say Hazard to score any time because Morata's not playing, so I think he's going to be a bit more higher up on the
Yeah.
pitch. He takes penalties. I reckon there probably will be a penalty in it. I'm going to go with a 3-0 Chelsea.
Yeah.
3-0. Okay.
That's about right.
So Manchester City, who many people feel are the classiest side, in the Premier League so far this year. City have won just half of the Premier League meetings against Stoke, prevailing in 9 of the previous 18 encounters and drawing 6. Now I know Stoke can dig in, but no, it's got to be this for me. I would, not my banker, but this is one of the games I really expect a home win.
I think this is a banker.
Yeah.
I think this Stoke have only picked up 1 point from 3 games away on the road. That was 1-1 against West Brom. They're tough to play against at the Britannia. That's their fortress, isn't it? But I think away from home, Stoke are just too easy to play against. They let other teams have the ball, and they just don't
I
look
think
solid for
Shawcroft,
me.
I think he's out as well.
Sure. Yeah,
Shawcross,
Shawcross is out.
Alan's a doubt after the Wales game.
Yes.
So he might not be playing. He kind of makes them tick as well. So that's going to be a big miss for them. Apparently Martin's Indy's still out as well.
Yeah,
So
they're
look at
just,
that for a start there, guys. You know, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Unbeaten in the last 19 home games and all competitions. That's phenomenal.
they're just imperious
So-
at the moment. They've actually kept 8 out of 9 clean sheets against Stoke as well in the Premier League. I just everything says this should be a comfortable win to 0 for Man City.
In their last 8 matches, which they've obviously won as well, they've averaged 3.4 goals.
But not only are they scoring goals for fun,
Yeah.
and everyone in the team seems to be scoring, they're keeping clean sheets as well,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the thing that differs from last year.
And if you stop De Bruyne, then you've got Silva to worry about. If you stop Aguero, you've got
Sterling.
Jesus. You know, and at the top of Sanchez going there again.
I
aren't they?
mean,
in January.
if Sanchez goes there as well, they have got an embarrassment of riches.
Mm.
They've already got an embarrassment of riches. Bernardo Silva, who's a great player, can hardly get a game. I just think their squad is so good.
Especially if you look at Sterling at the moment, who used to be like underperforming last season. He scored 5 goals from just 7 shots
Yeah.
on target in his last 5 games.
And I
He's on
thought he was
fire.
great against Chelsea. He
Mm.
looked
Yeah.
sharp as attack.
Yeah, he did.
But I was talking to Ray Wilkins, and Ray was saying, you know, what he's got to do now, Sterling, is keep that sharpness. But in training, and it's simple, he said, 15 minutes after training, you stay out there, go 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper every day. Just do that 15 minutes at the end of training, and his finishing will improve. And when
Yeah.
it does, it will make him another 20% better for me.
Well, it's one of those. He's so quick. He gets in those opportunities.
And
If he
doesn't
can-
realise he's left the
exactly
defender
that.
for dead, and he
Yeah.
rushes
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He scuffs him. He shouldn't.
No, I agree.
Okay, so we go for a Manchester City win.
Comfortable.
Now this is a 6-pointer for me, this next game, guys. Swansea against Huddersfield. You know, Huddersfield are making a good go of this, aren't they? But we all thought maybe they were going to be the team that everyone likes to kick, newly promoted, haven't spent much money, they'll struggle, but they've played with great spirit. And Swansea, on paper, this is a game Swansea look at saying we have to win this game, but I'm not so sure. They don't create enough chances, Swansea.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Swansea just don't look like they're going to score goals. In fact, they've had the fewest shots in the Premier League this season. They've registered the least amount of shots in open play, and they've had 11 shots on target so far this season.
Ridiculous.
They just don't create.
This is last on Match of the Day, isn't it?
Banker. There's going to be minimal goals in this.
Yeah.
This, out of all of the games, I could see that finishing 0-0.
Yeah, I could as well.
Can you?
I'm going to go
I'm going to go 1-0 Swansea,
Yeah.
but I really, it's probably a bold shout. It could easily be a 0-0.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely under
bus.
2.5.
under 2.5 goals is nailed on. I think if someone does nick it, it might be Swansea. I think you're right. They'll look at that game and go, we have to win that game. And I think Tammy Abraham's got a couple of goals.
Boney.
Looks like a bit of a handful. Wilfred Boney's
Got to start scoring soon.
Hopefully he's had a couple of weeks off of the international break,
Yeah.
starting to get a bit of fitness now. And if they do get him firing, he's a
class.
handful.
Yeah, he's
But
class.
it's a game that Swansea cannot afford to lose.
No.
Agreed.
On paper, this is one they'd have picked out and said we'll win it. Whereas our next game, Spurs, Tottenham against Bournemouth. Eddie Howe's team have not they've won just one game, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the Premier League. Tottenham again. This is probably my banker. Yet to lose to Bournemouth. There's another pointer. Harry's on fire, isn't he? I'd like to see Dele get back in amongst the goals if he's fit. So for me, this is a 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Wembley curse is still living on though. Like Spurs haven't won in the league at home yet, and Harry Kane hasn't scored at home yet. For me, they've still got this issue about playing at Wembley.
Yeah.
So this will be the big test to see if they've actually overcome it, because they should win this on paper.
He's had 22 shots at Wembley for Tottenham without finding the net. So he's having similar amounts of shots that he is away from home. It's a weird one. Spurs, there's only 3 teams that have got a worse home record than Spurs at the moment, and that's Watford, Palace and Swansea. I mean, if you looked at that after 3 or 4 games, you would never think Spurs would have that bad a home record.
And they might have to get used to this Wembley turf, because I'm told, in no uncertain terms, the ground will not be ready for the start of the next season, which is a huge blow.
I mean, I think that might cost them. Like, they could. I think if they were at White Hart Lane this year and potentially next year.
Well, after last year was fantastic. They could have gone one better this year.
That's what I mean.
But not now. But look, I still think that they're not. I don't think they're going to trouble the 2 Manchester clubs, and even Chelsea. But the Bournemouths of this world, I'm sorry, Tottenham have to put them to the sword.
I agree. Tottenham have got class all round. Kieran Trippier has provided more Premier League assists since August 2016 than any other defender.
Yeah.
That is.
They've got them coming through, haven't they? Get Harry as well, Harry Winks.
Yeah, good
coming
footballer.
through. So
Walker.
I think the future is good there, and I'm just gutted when I heard that about the stadium. I hope it's not true, but I've got a feeling it will be, and that is a headache. And I believe the budget's out the window as well. It's going to be a lot more expensive than what they imagined, which it happens to them all. Wembley, it happens to the Emirates, and now it looks like Tottenham's new ground is going to be the same, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
Now, Arsene Wenger today in the papers was talking about, it's amazing how he changes his mind, isn't it? No Chile in the World Cup. So Sanchez, Arsene said, no, it's the World Cup year. He's going to be fantastic. He will play right to the end for us. He'll put all these problems behind him. Well, there's no World Cup now. And now he's come out and said, we may have to sell him in January, which is bonkers. Of course they've got to sell him. You can't let a player of his quality go for nothing. And Ozil as well. His agent was saying in Turkish newspapers were reporting that talks are going well with Arsenal. Of course they're going well, because no one else will pay them their wages. So he might have to sell them in January, which is bonkers.
It's a crazy situation that they've let these 2 players, probably their 2 star players, get to. I mean, it should never happen. It should never ever happen. Should have been contract negotiations 2-3 years ago. If you want to keep them, you get them sorted, get it done and dusted. There's something up with that. They can't let it get to that situation.
Yeah, and I think there's been times as well where you look at both those players and you can tell they just have not wanted to play for the club. Both their heads gone down and they just performed really badly. So I don't know if do you want players like that in your team?
For me, I think it's you draw a line in it. You probably sell them. You get players in there that want to play for the shirt.
Exactly.
That's as an Arsenal fan.
And Jack Wilshere as well. Jack Wilshere, listen, Arsene Wenger, I heard him this morning saying Jack is looking almost back to his best fitness terms. He's right up there. But Jack's already said he thinks he'll leave in January. He thinks he'll go. So Arsene's he's all over the shop at the moment.
Yeah,
in saying that, I still fancy a score of maybe 1-2. I think Arsenal can beat Watford. The record against Watford is very good at Victory Road.
Yeah. I although Watford are playing really well, made their best ever start to a Premier League season, I still fancy Arsenal. And we mentioned Sanchez. I've just got an inkling. He always seems to pop up against Watford. In his last 5 Premier League appearances, he hasn't scored though. But against Watford, in his last 4 games, he scored 3 and assisted 3. Always seems to pull it out the bag against Watford.
But Arsenal haven't scored away from home this season so far.
True.
And the last
Which
time,
is remarkable,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's mad. The last time Arsenal failed to score in their opening 4 away games was in 1936.
Oh wow!
But look at this here. We're talking droughts here. We're talking the Gobi Desert. Look, no goal in his last 13 league games for Troy, and Sanchez failed to score in his last 5. So they'll probably both score. They'll score 1.
Yeah,
Sanchez will get 2. No, I fancy Arsenal to nick it 2-1. I do.
I'm with you. It's going to be tight. I could see either a 1-1 or hopefully Arsenal nick it for me.
I think it'll be draw half time, Arsenal full time.
Yeah, I think we're all about there.
Just nick it.
Okay, our last game of the weekend. We know we have a Monday, but we'll just stick to this one. And for me, this is a crucial game for Ronald Koeman. I'm beginning to fear for his survival. I really am. Now, Brighton, they'll fancy the chances here against Everton. Everton still look a bit disjointed to me. Have lost only just one of the last 19 Premier games against newly promoted teams, but Brighton at home are not bad. I just think it's not a good record against Everton, but I fancy Brighton to nick this 1-0.
I do too.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do fancy. Only Man City have left the Amex Stadium with points. Everyone else that's gone there, Brighton have
And
beaten.
it's the perfect time to play Everton. Everton are struggling away from home. I think Ronald Koeman's has won just 18.2% of his Premier League away games since he took charge. Everton, they're not very good away.
Peter
from
Reid
home.
was saying, in his days we had fight, and when we had to, we could dig in and get a result. He's not sure about this Everton side.
I think they've got a bit of a weak core, to be honest. Like when they're up against it, will never back Everton.
No.
And I just think Brighton at home, people aren't going to want to go there. Like
It's the banana skin of the weekend.
I honestly think Brighton will nick that.
Yeah.
And yet the stat says, look, having lost just 1 of the last 19 games against newly promoted teams, the record's very, very good. Okay, they've drawn 8. And would a draw be a good result for Everton away from home at Brighton? Would they take that?
I think in the current situation, they'd probably take it. Not to lose is probably key for Everton there. But
They'll still get on his back though, won't they? If they don't get 3 points.
Yeah,
they
will.
should be getting. Everton should be getting 3 points.
with the signings they've made and the players that they've got in their squad, they should win that game. I don't think many teams will like going to Brighton this year. And even the City won 2-0 at Brighton. Brighton had chances
they did,
in the opening game of the season.
So let's pick a little treble here.
So one more game.
Oh yes.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
So I thought we were going to do
yes.
Got Southampton v Newcastle.
Of course we have. I was thinking of Leicester, but Leicester West Brom, that's Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Saints, we'll pick a little treble after this one. Again, this is a tricky one. Of all the games, I'm looking here. I think Rafa's got Newcastle organised. They're not winning, but they're not pushovers, are they? Whereas Southampton, crikey, lack of goals against it for Saints really is. But I'm going to tip Southampton to win 1-0.
Yeah.
I think it's a tight one again. I'm going to go for a Saints win.
I've basically written down exactly the same thing.
There you
1-0 Southampton. Southampton have only scored in one game at home this season. So they've scored 3 goals at home, and they were all in the same game against West Ham. They won 3-2.
Yeah.
But Saints have failed to score in 8 of their last 9 Premier League home games. It has to change at some point. They have to score goals.
Well, I'm going to go with a draw. I think this is going to be dud, blunt, maybe, could even be 0-0, maybe 1-0. But I think it's going to be a draw.
Really? What about Rafa then? I thought at one stage he might walk, but there's this rumour flying around that if he walks, it costs him a lot of money. So I think he's now concentrating and say, okay, I'm here for a season, let's get on with it. But he's got a wealth of experience, hasn't he? So it wouldn't. I think their survival is all about at home at St James's Park. I don't trust them away from home. I really don't. That's why I think Saints, even though the lack of goals, I think Rafa will soak up. They'll sit tight. They can, with Richie and people like that, they can catch people in the break. But I just think Saints are going to nick this. I do. This again on paper. This is a game if Southampton are going to stay and keep away from trouble and stay in the Premier. They have to beat the likes of Newcastle, Brighton, Huddersfield. I think they will.
I agree. But those two teams need to beat the teams around them to stay up. I think both of them will be fine. I think Newcastle, of the teams that have come up, for me, are best place to stay up. I think they're playing for Rafa. I don't see Newcastle having too many issues with staying up.
Just with Shelvey for Newcastle, is he got a chance to get back in the England side, Shelvey?
I don't think so.
Do you know? I quite like Shelvey. I like that he's got a bit of bite about him. I think that's a little bit that England are missing, and I would much rather have a player that's a bit of a hothead that could do something. His pass for the Liverpool goal against the in the Liverpool game, he was the only person on the pitch that could have played that. Him or Coutinho or something like that. For me, just playing someone like a Jake Livermore for England, you know what you're getting. It's a bit safe. Whereas John Joe Shelvey, don't get me wrong, he's a bit of a hothead and he could get sent off. But he can also have a bit of a moment of magic, and I quite like him.
But look at Newcastle's position in the league. They'd take that at the start of the season, wouldn't they? Played 7 and up there, top half. I think they've got to be delighted with the start. I really do.
Absolutely.
But you look at that. Going back to our big game of the weekend, Liverpool. If Liverpool lose to Manchester United, they're 10 points behind, and that's too much to make up. Sorry, too much. Liverpool, so let's pick 3.
Yes.
They can't all be 3 short ones here, boys.
No.
But we'll have 2 short ones and a decent one. I think City are a certainty. I'm going to go Chelsea to beat Palace. They've got to beat them. And then my other one, I think I'm going to do Saints to beat Newcastle.
Ooh, okay. I'll go a couple of risky ones. I'm going Burnley to nick it against West Ham.
Yep.
I'm going Brighton to nick it against Everton.
Crikey, he wants to be a millionaire.
And then I'll go safer one, Tottenham to beat Bournemouth. There'd be my 3.
Right, I'm going to go for United to beat Liverpool. I'm going to go with Newcastle, Southampton draw. And I'm going to go for Brighton win against
We all like Brighton.
Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We're back. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching SportNation. The Premier's back, thank goodness. And what a game we start with. We'll see you in a few days.
See you later.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more. And for that extra sporting fix, check out our website for more great info, betting tips and exclusive offers on sportnation.com.